So, hi everyone. So, my name is Sujay, and today I'm going to take this class. So, basically, today we'll talk about the relationship between two components. So, one is parent to child and child to parent. Okay, so it is not like Salesforce standard master data lookup. It is little bit complex, and having said that, it is also very easy to implement. Okay, so let's start. Let me share my screen. So, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, suppose we have a requirement like we have to show a account list. Okay. And whenever user clicks on a button, so the related contact will be displayed. Okay. So here you can see this is the account list, and all the account has a button. So now if I click on this button, okay, so you can see the related account list is currently displaying here. Okay, now you can see that every time I click on the account, it will get updated. Okay, now let me go through with the code once. Okay, so here you can see that I have created two component. One is child parent, one is child. So, no, what is parent child? So, parent child is basically suppose I have two component, okay, and I want to send some data from component A to component B. So, the component A should be a parent component, and component B should be a child component. Okay, now this is the parent component, and this parent component I'm currently displaying the account list, and whenever user clicks on that button, I'm going to send the account ID to that this child component, and in this child component we will populate the contact based on that account ID. Okay, so here in this code, okay, you can see that in the span tag, under the span tag, this is the account dot name. So how we are going to fetch this account? I'll show you. Okay. So for that, I have to create a Apex class so that we can fetch the account details. Okay. No, 1 second. Yeah. So what I was saying, so first of all, I have to create a Apex class, and in that Apex class, um, we are uh, we are gonna fetch the account record. Okay, list of the account. So here you can see that I have created an Apex class. In this Apex class, I just simply fetch the account. Okay, ID and name. Okay, so I have called this Apex class in this JS. Okay, and I have created a handler called fetch account. In this handler, this is the function. Okay, and in this function, I'm getting the result. Okay, so and I am storing that list of account. I mean the account data in this array. Okay, so and here is the connected callback. So does anyone know anything? What is connected callback?
No, no.
Yes.
Okay, so who said yes?
Shumon.
Okay, so can you please tell me, Suman, what is connected callback?
Um, Connected callback is used when the some page or some page is loading at the time of loading a page when some
Right,
data we are fetching, then connected callback is used. Um, that is at the time of loading, page loading, we are using connected callback to get some data.
right. So your has anyone raised hand? Yeah, Amit. Are you saying something, Amit?
No, no, by mistake.
Okay, sorry. Okay. So connected callback is basically the standard function of the LWC. So suppose when the component inserted into the DOM, then it will call the connected callback. Okay, at the time of loading, as Suman said. So as soon as the connected callback is executed, then it will call the every method under this connected callback. Okay. So now in this case, if the connected callback is called, then it will call the fetch account handler, and then the function will get executed and will get the result. Okay, and every time you have to check the null pointer exception like this. Okay, so if the result, if the data is available, then it will store the data in this variable. If not, then the array will be null. Okay, null means blank array. Okay, now I am getting this result in this variable, and here I am also checking a null pointer exception if this array has any value or not. If the array has any value, then it will show this part. Okay, now here you can see that I have taken for each loop. Okay, I have taken for each loop, and you guys know what is for each loop, right?
Yes.
Okay, so every time this is the account array. Okay, and I am passing every value one by one in this variable. Okay, and key attribute is basically the unique identification number, you can say. So ID is a unique key, right? So that is why I'm putting the ID here, and in this span tag I'm showing the account name, right? Account dot name, because this variable has the account detail. Okay, and in this variable, if you see here, what I am getting ID and name, right? So the variable dot name. Okay, so this is the account name. Sorry. Now in this button, this is the button. Okay, If you look closely, we have two attributes on this button. One is data hyphen ID and another one is on click. So I think you guys know about on click. And what is data hyphen ID? So data hyphen ID is basically attribute that holds the um, something like a value. In this case, this particular attribute is holding the ID of that account. Okay. So now, if I go to this handler, like whenever user clicks on the button, it will call this handler, right? So this is a handler, and here this is the event. What is event? Event is basically action. Okay. So every time the handler will get called, okay, then it calls an action. Okay. So and will get the total. I mean, will get the data in this action. Okay. So here, what I am doing, I am taking a variable like I've added a variable. The variable name is this selected account ID. Okay. I have declared in a decorator called track. Okay. So in the event dot target dot dataset, target means in which event. Okay. So there are multiple event you can see in this code. Okay. This and here is another event. So how the LWC will know which event they should target? So that is why we'll take the target attribute. Okay. And then dataset. Dataset, what is dataset? Dataset is basically this is the data. This is the set of data. Okay. This is the set of data. And that is why we're taking the dataset and dot ID. ID means the ID. Okay. So this variable is holding the ID. That is why we're taking the ID here. Okay. Now in this particular section, in this variable, we are getting the ID, and I am checking a null pointer exception here also. So why I am using get function? So this is basically a function. Okay. Is child variable, sorry, visible. Okay. So the good thing about get function is we can use this particular thing as a variable. Okay. So what is variable? Variable like this. This is the variable, and this is basically a function. Okay. We cannot use this function in like as variable, but the get function is we can use this particular name as a variable. Okay. So if you see here, this is the null pointer exception. Okay. So if true is child visible, so I am using this function as a variable. Okay. So what I am returning, it returns from this function. So basically, so you can see double semicolon. Double semicolon is basically returning the boolean value. Okay. So if this particular variable has any value, then it will return the true. Or if this variable like is undefined or zero or null, then it will return the false value, right? So now here, if sorry, if the child visible is true, then it will execute this part of code. Okay. So here I am calling the child component. Okay. If the this variable has any data, I mean, if the variable has an ID, then it will call the child component. And in this child component, we have two attributes. Okay. So right now we are going to discuss about only this one. Okay, I'll discuss this part in a while. Okay, so here you can see that C child con LWC. What is this? So C is basically the C stand for component. Okay, every time if we call a child component, then we have to put C at first, then an hyphen. Okay, then the name of the child component. And why I'm doing like this? Child hyphen on hyphen L hyphen W hyphen C. So if you look, the name of the child component is child con LWC. So in this case, every time, every time the capital letter, I mean, here you can see the child CHILD. There is no capital letter, right? That is why I put the child same like this, right? Same like this. And then we have con, and in this con, the C is in uppercase. So before before every uppercase, we have to add a hyphen. Okay. Then we have to enter the value in lowercase. Okay. So in the child, I put the child, then hyphen, then there is a C in con in is in uppercase. So that is why I entered the hyphen, then con, then L is again the capital, then I added hyphen, then L, then hyphen, then W, then hyphen, and C. Okay. So are you getting it, or do you have any question?
Till now, fine, sir.
Okay. So so this is the attribute. So why account dash ID? So if I go to the child component, okay, here you can see that this is a decorator. Do you guys know about API decorator?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
great. So here you can see that account. This is a variable. Like I have already said that we can use this function as a variable, right? Like this. Okay. This is the same thing. Okay, but we are using the get function to store the account ID. Okay, if I want, I can do this as well. Okay, so why I am using get and set function, I'll tell you. Okay, so you can see that there is a account ID, and this is a variable, and in this variable I is in uppercase, right? So that is why whatever I put in this particular attribute, okay, I have to add the same thing. Like if I put like con ID, so in this variable, like in this function, Okay. Good. Okay. All right. So here I can take any name. Okay, like account, like contact ID, but I have to call the same name in this child component, right? So this is basically the account ID. I is in capital. So mm, I did like this account hyphen ID, and in this particular this is a value. So if you check, so the variable is this. In this variable, we are sending the account ID, and if I go to the child component, we are taking the account ID using the API decorator. Okay, so this is the variable, right? And the get function is only return something, right? Except return, get function can't do anything. Okay, so in this function, what I am returning the account ID. Okay, so why the name like this underscore account ID? So I can take any name. I can take this one also. Okay. So so getter to get better better understanding. So I have added underscore here. Okay. So this and this. Okay. This variable and this variable is different. In this variable, we are getting the ID from the parent component, and we are storing the account ID in this variable. Okay, now it will return the account ID from this function, and if we use get function, we have to use the set function. Okay, so in this function, the get and set function is the name will be the same. Okay, and this is the parameter, and in this parameter we are passing the value means this one, this variable account ID, and again we are storing the account ID. Okay, and we are calling this function and what fetch contact. Okay, so now if I go to the fetch contact button, sorry, handler, then you can see that I am calling an apex classes, no apex class in this function. So this is a parameter, we are passing the account ID. Okay, and this function, and after executing this account, we'll get the result. Okay, now if I go to this apex class, you can see that there is a simple SQL query, and it will return the name of the contact based on that account ID what I am sending from the parent component. Okay. Now, sorry, now we are getting this result in this contact array. Here you can see that I'm also checking the null pointer exception. If the result is available, if the result has any data, okay, then it will store the result in this contact. Otherwise, this array will be null. And if the this is the okay. So I'm storing the result in this contact. Okay, what is dispatch contact count? I'll tell you in a while. Okay, so here I am storing the contact details, contact record. Okay, list of contact. Now, if I go to the component, now you can see whenever I click a button, you can see the result. Okay, no result. Okay, right here you can see one contact, Eden Frank. Okay, again Ashley James. Okay, then this account has two contact. Okay, so this is basically the parent to child. Okay, so whenever I want to send the data from parent component to child component, first of all I have to call the child component inside the parent component, and I have to set a parameter, I mean the attribute, and in this attribute we have to send the ID of that particular object. Okay, and if I want to send like ID, name, and other like boolean value and all, we can do that as well. Okay, so if anyone has any question, please ask me.
হ্যালো,
Yeah,
আচ্ছা আপনি ওই এতে একবার যান না, ওই চাইল্ড কম LWC, মানে আপনার
right.
জেএস 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 জেএস।
Yes, okay.
আচ্ছা, এখানে যেটা কানেক্টেড কলব্যাক যেটা কল করেছেন আপনার হচ্ছে কি ফেচ কন্ট্যাক্টকে, তাই তো?
Right, right.
এটা একটা ফাংশন তো?
একদম।
আচ্ছা, এই ফাংশনকে কি প্যারামিটার দিয়ে পাস করানো যায়? আমি সাপোজ ধরুন এখানে হচ্ছে গিয়ে ফাংশনের প্যারামিটার আমি অ্যাকাউন্ট আইডি পাঠাবো, গেট কন্ট্যাক্টের মধ্যে ওইটাকে আমি ইউজ করব। এটা করা যায়?
না, না, কানেক্টেড কলব্যাকে আপনি করতে পারবেন না ওটা। সো বেসিক্যালি এখানে কানেক্টেড কলব্যাক এন্ড
না,
ইউজ
আমি
হয়েছে
কেন
কেন?
বলছি, আমি সাপোজ ধরুন কোনো রেকর্ড পেজে গিয়ে কোনো একটা অ্যাকাউন্টস এর কন্টাক্ট আমি ফেস করতে চাইছি, তখন তো আমাকে রেকর্ড আইডি পাস করাতে হবে প্যারামিটার হিসেবে।
হ্যাঁ, সেটা আপনি এই ধরুন কথার কথা কোনো আপনার একটা এলডব্লিউসি চলছে
হুম,
একটা ডিটেল পেজের ওপর। ঠিক আছে? ডিটেল পেজ মানে ধরুন অ্যাকাউন্ট ডিটেল পেজ বা কন্ট্যাক্ট ডিটেল পেজ।
হ্যাঁ, রেকর্ড পেজ
তো
যেটা।
হ্যাঁ, ওটাই। তো ওখানে ধরুন একটা বাটন আছে,
হুম,
যেই বাটনে ক্লিক করলে
হুম,
একটা আপনার এলডব্লিউসি রান করছে। ওকে,
হুম।
সো আমরা রেকর্ড আইডি কি করে পাবো?
না, আমি সেটা বলছি না।
সো
সাপোজ ধরুন একটা অ্যাকাউন্টস এর মধ্যে একটা কম্পোনেন্ট আছে যেখানে গ্রিড আছে আপনার কন্টাক্ট লিস্ট বলে। আমি পেজটা যখন অ্যাকাউন্ট পেজটা লোড হচ্ছে তখন হচ্ছে গ্রিডের মধ্যে আমার হচ্ছে ডেটা টেবিলের মধ্যে আমার অ্যাকাউন্টের লিস্ট দেখাবে। তখন
হুম
তো আমাকে পার্টিকুলার একটা রেকর্ড আইডি এগেইনস্ট অ্যাকাউন্ট আইডি পাস করাতে হবে।
হুম তো আপনি
সেইটা
ওটা পাবেন, ওটা বেসিক্যালি আপনার রো অ্যাকশন হয়। ঠিক আছে? যদি আপনার ধরুন একটা পেজিনেশন রয়েছে, ঠিক আছে, এবার পেজিনেশন বা লিস্ট অফ অ্যাকাউন্ট যেখানে আপনার একটা অ্যাকশন লাগবে, মেবি ওটা হতে পারে কোনো বাটন বা অ্যাকাউন্ট নেমের উপর আপনার হাইপার লিঙ্ক হতে পারে। যখন আপনি ওটার উপর ক্লিক করবেন তখন
না,
একটা রো
আমি ওটা
অ্যাকশন
চাইছি
কল।
না। আমি চাইছি অ্যাকাউন্টে সাপোজ ধরুন ইউনাইটেড গ্যাস, আমি এই পেজটা আমি লোড করছি।
হুম
তার ও ডিটেলসটা দেখাচ্ছে।
হুম
ডান দিকে একটা হচ্ছে ডেটা টেবিল আছে যেখানে আমার ওর হচ্ছে গিয়ে কন্টাক্ট লিস্টটা হচ্ছে গিয়ে দেখাবে।
হুম
তার মানে কি যখন লোড হবে সঙ্গে সঙ্গেই তো আমার লিস্টটা দেখাবে ডেটা টেবিলের মধ্যে।
হুম
হ্যাঁ, আমি সেটাই চাইছি। আমি কোনো বাটনে বা কোনো জায়গায় ক্লিক করতে চাইছি না। আল্টিমেট অ্যাকাউন্ট রেকর্ড পেজ যখন একটা পার্টিকুলার অ্যাকাউন্টের রেকর্ড পেজ যখন লোড হবে তখনই আমার কন্টাক্ট লিস্ট একটা ডেটা টেবিলের মধ্যে শো করবে এবং সেটা অ্যাকাউন্ট রেকর্ড পেজে। সে মতো
হ্যাঁ
ক্ষেত্রে কি করব?
হ্যাঁ, ওটাই তো প্রথমে ওটাই বলছিলাম আমি। তো আপনাকে প্রথমে অ্যাকাউন্টের আইডিটা লাগবে, রাইট? কন্ট্যাক্টটাকে শো করার জন্য, রিলেটেড কন্ট্যাক্ট শো করার জন্য, তাই তো?
রেকর্ড আইডি।
একদম। সো ওটা হচ্ছে @রেকর্ড আইডি দিয়ে চলে আসে, ঠিক আছে?
আচ্ছা, চলে এলো।
হ্যাঁ, ওটাতে আপনি যদি এরকম করেন, ধরুন কথার কথা, সো এইটা
হুম,
হচ্ছে ভ্যারিয়েবল রেকর্ড আইডি, ওকে? আর
হুম,
এটা হচ্ছে স্ট্যান্ডার্ড ভ্যারিয়েবল, ওকে? সো
হুম।
আপনি যদি এটা করেন, কল করেন, তো এটা অটোমেটিক্যালি ওই পার্টিকুলার রেকর্ডটার আইডিটা চলে আসে, ওকে? আরো
আচ্ছা,
আছে,
হ্যাঁ,
আরো ফাংশন আছে। যদি এটা ধরুন কথার কথা বাটন ক্লিক হয়, ঠিক আছে?
হ্যাঁ,
তো বাটন ক্লিক হলে সামটাইমস এটা আপনার কাজ করে না, ঠিক আছে?
হ্যাঁ,
তো ওটার জন্য আপনাকে একটা কানেক্টেড কলব্যাকের একটা ফাংশন লিখতে হয়, ঠিক আছে?
হ্যাঁ, হ্যাঁ,
সেটা হচ্ছে উইন্ডোজ ডট লোকেশন, আমার এক্সাক্ট ফাংশনটা মনে নেই, ঠিক আছে?
আচ্ছা,
উইন্ডোজ ডট লোকেশন, তারপরে একটা অ্যাট্রিবিউট দিতে হয়, ঠিক আছে? ওটা যদি মানে সবসময় প্রবলেম মানে হয় না, বাট কিছু কিছু ক্ষেত্রে যদি আপনি কোনো বাটনে এলডব্লিউসি কল করেন, ঠিক আছে,
হুম,
তখন এই পার্টিকুলার আপনার ইয়েটা কাজ করে না কখনো কখনো, ঠিক আছে? সেক্ষেত্রে
আচ্ছা,
আপনার ওই ফাংশনটা লিখতে হয়। আর যদি আপনার এরকমই থাকে যে ডাইরেক্ট রেকর্ড পেজে আপনার ডিপ্লয় করা আছে, তাহলে আপনার
হুম,
অলওয়েজ এটা কাজ করবে, ঠিক আছে?
আচ্ছা। আর একটা জিনিস জিজ্ঞেস করছি, এইখানে
হ্যাঁ,
যে কানেক্টেড কল ব্যাক যেটা লিখেছেন,
হ্যাঁ,
এটা যখন পেজ লোড হচ্ছে তখন, বা হচ্ছে গিয়ে আপনার ওয়্যার ফাংশন যেটা আছে, ওয়্যার
হুম, হুম।
যেটা আছে
ওয়্যার
সেটাতেও
ফাংশন তো
একই।
বেসিক্যালি আপনার ওটা একটা ডেকোরেটর, এটা
হ্যাঁ,
ফাংশন,
ওয়্যার
ওকে?
ডেকোরেটর, হ্যাঁ।
হ্যাঁ,
ওয়্যার ডেকোরেটরের মধ্যে আমি এই ফাংশন এইভাবে কল করতে পারি?
ওয়্যার ডেকোরেটরের মধ্যে, না না, দেখুন, আহ, আপনি কি বলে ওয়্যার অ্যান্ড ইম্পারেটিভের ডিফারেন্স জানেন? মানে ইম্পারেটিভ পড়েছেন? শেখানো হয়ে যায়?
না, 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 শেখায়নি। ওয়্যারটা শিখিয়েছিল আর ওই কানেক্টেড কল ব্যাক
আই
বলতে
গেস
পারতাম।
শেখানো হয়েছে, বিকজ আপনাদের যখন কানেক্টেড কলব্যাক শেখানো হয়েছে, তো কানেক্টেড কলব্যাক হচ্ছে ইম্পারেটিভ কলিং, ওকে? সো আমাদের কাছে দুটো অপশন আছে, ওকে? একটা হচ্ছে ইম্পারেটিভ, একটা হচ্ছে ওয়্যার, ওকে? সো
হুম,
ওয়্যারে কি হয়, তো আমি যখন একটা পেজ রিলোড করছি, রাইট? এই পেজটা রিলোড করছি, ধরুন এর একটা ব্রাউজারের ক্যাশ ফাইল থাকে, ঠিক আছে?
হুম, হুম,
আমরা ক্যাশ ডিলিট করি না, তো ক্যাশ
হুম,
ফাইল
হুম, হুম,
থাকে, যখনই আমি রিলোড করলাম এটা, তখন ওটা
হুম,
ক্যাশ ফাইলের মধ্যে যে ডেটাটা আছে, ঠিক আছে,
হুম,
ওই ডেটাটা ওই ওয়্যার ফাংশনে, ঠিক আছে, পপুলেট হয়। মানে আর
হুম,
এখানে আমরা যখন অ্যাপেক্স ক্লাসে অর এনাবেল দেন ক্যাশেবল ইকুয়াল টু ট্রু করি। ক্যাশেবল
আচ্ছা,
ইকুয়াল টু ট্রু কেন করি? কারণ ওই যে ক্যাশ ফাইলের মধ্যে যে যত ডেটা আছে, ওই ডেটাটা যাতে এই অ্যাপেক্স ক্লাসের মধ্যে চলে আসে, ঠিক আছে? আর এই অ্যাপেক্স ক্লাস পুরো ডেটাটাকে পাঠাতে পারে জেএসটাকে, ওকে?
আচ্ছা,
তো আর ইম্পারেটিভে কি হয়, ধরুন এই যে সরি, ধরুন এই যে এটা কানেক্টেড কলব্যাক, এটা হচ্ছে ইম্পারেটিভ কলিং।
হুম,
ইম্পারেটিভ কলে কি হয়, এই যে এই পার্টিকুলার এই সেকশনটা আপনি দেখছেন, এই যে
হুম,
ফাংশনটা,
হুম,
এটাকে বলা হয় ইম্পারেটিভ কল।
আচ্ছা,
ইম্পারেটিভ কলে কি হয়, আপনার মানে ক্লায়েন্ট সাইড আপনাকে দেখে না, মানে সরি সার্ভার সাইড দেখে না যে কোনো ডেটা ক্যাশে আছে কিনা, ঠিক আছে?
আচ্ছা,
তো আপনাকে যখনই হচ্ছে এই ফাংশনটা কল হবে, তখনই ও
হুম,
সার্ভার সাইডে গিয়ে দেখবে যে হচ্ছে কোন কোন ডেটা আছে। যদি ধরুন এরকম হয়, এরকম আমাদের রিকোয়ারমেন্ট থাকে কখনো, যে আমি এই বাটনে ক্লিক করলে একটা কন্ট্যাক্ট ক্রিয়েট হয়ে যাবে, ঠিক আছে?
হুম,
কন্ট্যাক্ট ক্রিয়েট হলো, ধরুন আমি এখানে ক্লিক করলাম, সাপোজ আমি একটা ফর্ম ওপেন হলো, আমি ওখানে কি করলাম, আমি নাম, ফোন নাম্বার দিলাম, দিয়ে সাবমিট করলাম, একটা কন্ট্যাক্ট ক্রিয়েট হলো, বাট পেজ কিন্তু রিফ্রেশ হলো না, ঠিক আছে? মানে এই পেজটাকে আমি রিলোড কিন্তু হলো না, সাপোজ,
হুম,
ওকে? তখন কি হবে, এইখানটায় ওই কন্ট্যাক্টটাকে শো করাবে না, আপডেটেড কন্ট্যাক্টটাকে। কারণ
হুম,
এই পার্টিকুলার ব্রাউজারের মধ্যে যে ক্যাশ ফাইলটা আছে, ওর মধ্যে
ওটাকে লিস্ট
আপডেটেড
করতে।
ভ্যালুটা
আচ্ছা,
আসেইনি, তার কারণ পেজটা লোডই হয়নি, ঠিক আছে?
হুম,
তো এই সমস্যার সমাধান করার জন্যই আপনার ইম্পারেটিভ কল করতে হয়, যখন আপনার দরকার যে এরকম যে আপনি একটা বাটনে ক্লিক করলেন, করে একটা
হুম,
অ্যাকাউন্ট ক্রিয়েট হলো, ঠিক আছে?
হুম, হুম,
যখনই অ্যাকাউন্ট ক্রিয়েট হলো, তখনই ও ইম্পারেটিভ কল করে, কারণ সে ক্যাশ ফাইল দেখছে না, সে ডাইরেক্ট
হুম,
সার্ভার সাইড দেখছে, ঠিক আছে?
হুম,
যে দেখছে যখন, সে দেখছে হ্যাঁ নতুন একটা ভ্যালু এসছে এই পার্টিকুলার অ্যাকাউন্টটার মধ্যে,
হুম,
ঠিক আছে? তখন ও ওই ভ্যালুটাকে পপুলেট করে দেয়। তার জন্য আমাদের রিফ্রেশ অ্যাপেক্স ইউজ করতে লাগে, আরো 2-3টে ফাংশন ইউজ করতে লাগে,
আচ্ছা।
ওটাকে ও
হুম,
পপুলেট করে দেয়। ঠিক আছে,
হুম,
তো এটা হচ্ছে ডিফারেন্স একটা ওয়্যার ফাংশন আর একটা ইম্পারেটিভ কলিং এর মধ্যে। ঠিক আছে,
আচ্ছা।
আশা করি
তার মানে
বুঝতে পেরেছেন।
বাটন ক্লিকে যদি কোনো বাটন ক্লিক ইভেন্ট থাকে সেখানে আমি এই
না
ফেস
না, বাটন
কন্টাক্টটাকে
ক্লিক ইভেন্টটা আমি একটা লেমন ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজে আপনাকে জাস্ট বোঝালাম যে ওয়্যার
আচ্ছা,
আর
আচ্ছা,
ইম্পারেটিভের ডিফারেন্সটা কি। আপনাদের
আচ্ছা,
অনেক রকম মানে ফিউচারে অনেক রকম কাজ করতে পারেন, যেখানে আপনার এরকম মানে সমস্যা হতে পারে যে ওয়্যার ইউজ করব না ইম্পারেটিভ ইউজ করব। তো আমি
হুম।
একটা জিনিস বোঝালাম যে ওয়্যারটা কি করে আর ইম্পারেটিভটা কি করে, আপনি কখন ওয়্যার ইউজ করবেন কখন ইম্পারেটিভ ইউজ করবেন।
মানে
ঠিক আছে,
ওয়্যারের কাজটা হচ্ছে ক্যাচে মেমোরি থেকে ডেটাটাকে নিয়ে শো করানো, পরিষ্কার কথা একদম।
একদম একদম। আর ইম্পারেটিভেরটা হচ্ছে ডাইরেক্ট সে সার্ভার সাইডে যাবে,
সার্ভার সাইড
ডাইরেক্ট
থেকে
সে
ডেটাগুলো শো
সেলসফোর্সে
করানো।
ডেটাবেসে যাবে, ডেটাবেসে ঢুকে দেখবে যে কি আছে, সে ব্রাউজারের উপর ডিপেন্ড করবে না। ঠিক আছে,
আচ্ছা,
সো
ঠিক আছে।
সুজাতা, এই ডিফারেন্সটা বলা হয়েছিল, মানে ইম্পারেটিভ ওয়ার্ডটা ব্যবহার করা হয়নি, কিন্তু এই
হ্যাঁ
ডিফারেন্সটা বলা হয়েছিল, ক্যাশের
হ্যাঁ
কথাটা, ওয়্যার অ্যান্ড কানেক্টেড কলব্যাকের মধ্যে ডিফারেন্স।
ওকে, তো এটাই হচ্ছে বেসিক্যালি ডিফারেন্স। ওকে, সো আর কারোর কোনো কোশ্চেন আছে? আই মিন নো রাইট? ওকে, সো নাও we'll discuss about the child to parent component. Okay, so sorry, so what is child to parent component? Suppose whenever we want to send the data from child component to parent component. So previously what we have seen the we have sent the data from parent component to child component. Now we'll send the data child component to parent component. Okay, suppose in this component if I click on this account button, then this is the this account has two contacts, right? I want to count the list of contact. Okay, like this, total contact is equal to 2. Now if I click S force, again this account has two contact. Okay, if I click on this, you can see the updated value. Okay, so I want to show the count of that particular contact, sorry, count of that contact of that particular account. Okay, so for that if I want to show this count of that contact inside a parent component, so I have to send the data from child component to parent component, so
হুম,
that uh, parent component can understand what like what is the count of this contact. Okay, so for that it is very easy. Okay, so we have to dispatch a event. Okay, there are some couple of ways we can do that, like bubble up and all, but this is very simple. We have to just dispatch a event. Okay, this is basic, you can see. Okay, this is a handler. Now if I go to the HTML, so here you can see the list of that contact, right? Okay, now I'm sorry, yeah, the parent component. So you can see that on contact count. Okay, and this is a handler called handle contact count. What is this? I'll tell you. So this is basically a handler dispatch contact count. Okay, in this contact in this handler, what I am doing, I am so in this variable I am calculating the length of that particular array, because this is an array, this right, this is an array. In this array there are multiple maybe 10 or 20 or 30 contacts are there, right? So this is basically a attribute, length attribute. Using this attribute we can count the length or count the size. Like in Apex, we have you have used size, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the same thing. In JS, we have length to count the size. Okay. And I'm storing the size of that particular array in this variable. Okay. It will return the number. Okay. So either 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, anything. Okay. Now I have to create a custom event. Okay. So custom event, what is the custom event? So I have already said event means means an action. All right. So this is the syntax to create a custom event. Okay. Const. Okay. Mm. And this is a variable, and in this variable, like we already know how to declare a list or map or set, right? So this is the same thing. We have to declare the custom event. Okay. So new custom event. Okay. And this is basically the name. So always always enter the name in the lowercase. Okay. Do not use uppercase. Okay. Every time you want to enter the name, custom event name, always use lowercase. So this is basically the name of that particular event, custom event. Contact count. Okay. And this is the attribute called detail. What is detail? In this is basically a attribute. So it will return like an object structure. So here you can see this is the second bracket curly braces. Okay. In this curly braces, I want send whatever I want to send, like an ID, name, any boolean value, integer, sorry, a number, okay, anything. So here, because I want to show the count of that contact, so I have to send this variable, right? So this is the name. I can put any name like count, XYZ, ABC, anything. Okay. And after the semicolon, after the colon, okay, I have to send the variable. Okay. So in this variable, what I am sending? I am sending the length of that particular array. Okay. Now I have to dispatch the event. So this is the syntax of dispatching an event. Okay. So this is a function. This dot dispatch event. It's a standard function, and in this function we are passing this we are passing this variable. In this variable, what is in this variable? In this variable, the name of that function, sorry, name of that custom event, and the length of that particular array. Okay. So we are sending this, we are dispatching this event. Okay. And now if I go to the HTML, the parent component, here you can see on count contact. Okay. So this particular section, okay, this is basically the name of that custom event. Okay. Here you can see, if I copy this, you can see this is the name, right? So every time if I want to send the data from child component to parent component, we have to dispatch an event from the child component, and in the parent component we have to add the on keyword first. Okay. Then we'll enter the name of that this event. Okay. So here I have added the on keyword first, then name of that particular custom event, right? And handler, in this handler, if I go to this handler, you can see this chunk of code, right? So what is this basically? So in this handler, we are basically getting the data which I am sending from the child component. Okay. Now I can enter any name here, handle XYZ ABC. Okay. But I have to put the same name here in the JavaScript of that parent component. Okay. Suppose ABC is the name of the custom event. Okay. So if you want to store the data, right, in the parent component, you have to call a handler. So I have named the handler called handler XYZ. Okay. Now I have to call the same thing, same name here, so that we can store the data. If there is any mismatch or anything, then it will not you will not get the data in this handler. Okay. So it is very case sensitive. So please check before anything, I mean, before you add the handler in the JavaScript. Okay. So now if I go to the handler, this is basically a Boolean value. I'll show you. So in this is a const. Do you guys know what is const, late, and where?
Constant where I know, but let
Okay. So this
don't know.
is a local variable. Okay. Const is basically like in Apex we have a final keyword, right? So if we use the final keyword, we cannot change the value. So in the const is the same. Okay. But the where and late we can change the value if I want. Okay. So this is basically a difference between const, late, and where. This is all the local variable. Okay. So in this variable, what I am getting? I am getting the length of that account. Sorry, length of that contact. Okay. So how I can get the data? So this is basically the event. We are firing the event. Okay, custom event. So I have to add the parameter. I've named it as event. Okay. And in the event, so if I go to the child component, you can see I am sending a parameter called detail. Right. In this detail, we have this variable called count. Right. Now you can see event dot detail. Okay. In the detail, we have count. Right. In this in the count variable, we have the data. So if I want to get the data, we have to do like this: event dot detail dot name of the variable. Okay. Now in this count, I am getting the count of that particular contact. Now I am checking an null pointer exception. Okay. If the count has any value, if this variable has any value, okay, then it will store the data in this variable. Because I've already said const is a local variable, we cannot do the one-way binding. One-way binding means we cannot send the data from JavaScript to HTML. So for that, we have to declare a track decorator. So contact count, here you can see. So the default value is 0. If this particular variable has any value, then it will store the data in this variable, right? Otherwise, it will be 0. Okay. Now, here, what I am checking a, sorry, null pointer exception is open contact count, right? So, if you look closely, you can see the name of that variable open contact count is true. I've already declared in the track decorator, the default value is false. If the handler get called, okay, sorry, I have to write this. So as soon as handler get called, then it will this variable will become true. Okay, so once its variable become true, it will execute this part of code. Okay, so that we can see the value, right? So now if I go to this section, here you can see contact is 0. We have one contact. The total contact count is 1, 2, 1, 2, 4. Okay. So this is how we can send the data from child component to parent component. Okay. So anyone has any question?
No, sir.
Okay. Great then. So that was basically the relationship between component to component. Okay. Now we'll see how we can like use how we can do uh what can I say, like a dependent pick list. Do you know guys about dependent pick list, like standard functionality?
Yes.
Okay, great. So suppose I have a requirement. Okay, what is the requirement? The requirement is I have to show the list of the account in a pick list. Okay, so here um, I have shown the list of the account in every tile, right? But if I have the requirement, like I want to show the list of the account in a pick list, and if a user, uh, whenever a user chooses a particular account, okay, then in the another pick list, it will show the related contact. Okay, now if I go in this component, here you can see this is basically the list of the account, right? Let me open the inspect so that you can get what I am saying. Here you can see the result. Okay, this is the list of the account. Okay, edge communication, then multiple. There are, I mean, couple of 20 or 30 accounts, I believe. Okay, so now if I click on this account, okay, you can see the selected account ID. Okay, I'll show you what is this. So if I choose this contact, you can see in this account, sorry, contact pick list, we have the contact, right? If I change the contact name, sorry, account name, then the contact list will also get updated. Okay, so how we can do that? So mm, this is the HTML. Okay. So here you can see that a tag called lightning combo box. Do you know guys about what is lightning combo box?
No.
Okay. So this tag is basically like we know about this tag, right? Lightning input. So lightning input is basically a input field. Same, the lightning combo box is basically the pick list field. If I want to pick list field, then I have to use this tag. Okay. So in this tag, there are a couple of attribute. Okay. So this is the name and label. Okay. Choose your contact. Placeholder. What is placeholder? Placeholder means this. Okay. If you do not choose anything, then it will show the placeholder. Okay. So this is the placeholder. Okay. Then we have attribute called value, option, and on change. You know about on change. Okay. So what is value and option? Option is basically the we have to add the list in this particular attribute. List means an array. Okay. And in that array, if suppose 10 or 20 or 30 or 50 values are there, then it will show in the pick list like this. So suppose we in the result, if I open this, so here you can see that we are storing the account result in this array. Okay. And I'm passing the array in that particular attribute. Okay. So that array, we are getting the result like this. Okay. Because we use the lightning combo box, that is why the list of the list of the account is look like this, is in the pick list type. Okay. So and on change and value, what is this? So on change is basically whenever user change any value. Okay. mm, then it will store the value in this variable, in this value variable. Okay. So selected account ID. Suppose if I want to change the account. Okay. So it will store the particular data in this variable. Okay. This is the same thing. This is the contact combo box. Okay. So first of all, I have to call an apex class so that we can show the list of that account. Okay. So this is the apex class. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. This is the apex class. And here I'm just returning the ID and name. Okay. Now I'm calling this apex class. Okay. Sorry, this one. Right. Get account info. You can see the name of that method. Okay. Now in the connected callback, we are calling this function. Okay. So in this function, what I am getting the mm, list of the account. Okay. So why I use map here? Okay. So this map is basically not like the map in Apex. Okay. So in that, so when we want to filter the data, okay. If I want to filter the data, I mean the result, then we will use map always, right? So that is why I have used map. This is basically the a method. Okay. So in this map, we have created a function, thick arrow function. Okay. And we are storing, there are two value, two attribute, label and value. In the label, we are showing the account name. I mean, if you see the name of that account, it is basically the label. Okay. And what is value? In this value, we are passing the ID. Why we are passing the ID? I'll tell you. So now, if I click on that label, if I click on any account, I mean any label, you can see in the selected account ID, in this particular variable, okay, we have also declared this variable here. Okay. In this variable, we are getting the ID. Okay. Okay. You can see that the ID, we are storing the ID here because based on that particular account, we will fetch the contact. So for that, I have to send an unique key. So ID is an unique key. Okay. Suppose if I send the name, okay. Then suppose Salesforce, there are multiple Salesforce account in our database. Then the code will not executed properly. Okay, because there are duplicate value. Okay, so we have to send the unique key. Okay, so that is why I'm sending the ID. Okay, so because I have to send the ID so that I can mm, get the ID from this particular combo box. So that is why I have used the map, so I can filter the data and I can store the data in like in a variable. Okay, so this is basically the result. Okay, this is a list. In this list, what I am getting, like if I console log. Okay, already have that one. So in this account, okay, you can see the so you can see that in that data we have ID and name, right? Now if I print this part, console.log. I- So you can see the difference, right? In this array, I mean, in this particular variable, okay, in this particular array, result array, what we are getting? We are getting the data like this, ID and name, and we are converting the data, okay, in this using this map, and we're storing the data in this variable. Now, if I go to the data structure of this variable, you can see we have successfully converted the array. All right. Here you can see this is the JSON. Okay. ID equal to this, name equal to this, and we have converted in this array that label equal to name and value equal to ID. Okay. So we want the ID. That is why we did like this. So are you getting my point?
Yes.
Okay. So mm, now if I click on that label, okay, then it will store the ID in this variable. Okay. Yeah. So if I use the label instead of value, then it will store the name in this variable. Okay. Where so this is the event.detail. In this portion, we call the value of that particular array, right? In the value, what we have the account ID. That is why this variable has the account ID. If we use the label, then it will store the name in this particular variable. Okay. Now, 1 second. So I'm checking the null pointer. Okay. So I have declared the this variable as a string. So you can see. So default value is string. Okay. Now I'm checking the null pointer exception that if this variable doesn't have, I mean, if the variable has null value or blank string or okay, so then it will execute this particular handler. Else it will it will throw an error. Okay. So what is in this function? So we are passing the this variable, and what is in this variable? The account ID, right? So in this variable we are passing this dot account ID, and we are getting the account ID in this handler. I can put any name here, like suppose this one, this, or maybe this, anything. Okay, I can put any name. So I have put the selected account ID in that particular variable. We are getting the account ID, right? And we call a function. You can see a Apex class, and we are sending a parameter called account ID. Okay. So based on that account, it will show me the related account, sorry, related contact. Again, we are using map here so that we can filter the data and we can convert the data. Okay. So in that label again, so the function, this is a variable. So in this variable we have name and ID, right? We have name and ID in this variable. So in the label, we have will show the name, and in the value will store the ID. Okay. Now if I go to the on change, I mean this one, handle con list change. So whenever user change the contact, okay, it will get updated every time, it will get called and the value will get updated. Okay. Now, and this is the show toast. This is basically in the event. Okay, this is an event called show toast. Okay, so that we can show the mm, oh, toast message. What is toast message? Let me show you. Hmm. So now you can see this is the Jack Rogers. So this is the account ID and this is the contact. Okay. Now this is the account ID. Okay. This is a contact. Now if I want to change the contact, look. Okay. You can see the difference. This is the old ID. This is the new ID. Okay. Now what is toast event? Like suppose I believe this account doesn't have any contact. So here you can see this is an event. Okay, this is a toast message. So we can, if we want to show the toast message, okay, then we have to do this. First of all, we have to import the this particular attribute from the Lightning Platform Toast event. Okay, then to create an event, I can name anything, any name I can put, and there are three parameters: title, message, and variant. Okay, so I have to create a custom. Sorry, I have to create a standard event. So what is standard event? This is the event. Okay, so in this we have declared the event. Okay, and in the title, this is the in this title, this is the value. Okay, basically this message. Okay, this is the attribute and this is the value. Okay, value means this one. Okay, and this is the variant. Okay, and we have to dispatch the event same like the custom event. Okay, now if I want to show the toast message, then I have to call this particular function or event, you can say. So if you look here, this dot toast event, I'm calling the toast event. What is title? Title is basically there are four or five titles maybe. Sorry, there are four or five event, five type of events are there. So title is basically info. Okay, now so here you can see that info, right? So this is basically the title. Okay, and Where is that? No contact available. Yeah. So this is the message. Okay. This is the message. So first of all, I have to enter the title. Okay. And then the message, then the variant. Okay. So there are a couple of variant. Okay. So one is info, one is error, one is success, and one is warning. Okay. If I want to show the message like in green color, okay, instead of on the gray, then we have to use the success success variant. Okay. If I want to show warning, then we have to use the warning variant. If I want to show the error, you can see this is an error event. Okay, you have to name the event. If I want, because I want to show basically this is the information. Okay, so that is why I used info. Okay, so anyone has any question?
Sujata, when we will get the error post message in
So,
that scenario?
yeah. So, suppose any issue, I mean, any error has occurred while executing this function, then it will directly go to the catch, right? Once it go to the catch, then it will show this error message. Okay,
Okay.
you got my
Is there
point, right?
is yeah, yeah. Is there possible to show the error scenario here?
Yeah, sure. Let me convert this one. Like, mm, mm, mm. Hmm. Okay.
Mhm.
So, shall I stop the recording then?